Hi, I'm Larry Johnson. I'm a professor at Texas A&M University, and we want to talk about the cardiovascular system. Now, there's the lymphatic vessels. Wherever you have blood vessels, you have draining lymphatics to return the fluid to the blood vascular system.
And then here we see the bile duct, and we see a muscular artery. We see that the blood vessels were perfused fixed, and so the fixative took the blood out of the arteries and veins. However, in the lymphatics, it could not remove it, and so that's what we see. These are actually lymph vessels, and you can see there's valves that are in the lymph vessels. So that with the pink in here as opposed to the white is indicative of a lymph vessel that when the tissue was perfused, fixed, or the fixative was washed through the blood vessels and not just thrown into the fixative. So these are lymphatic. You can see the endothelial cells, and usually the endothelial cell lining there are very, very thin. And also the lymphatic vessels have little things that tie them down that holds them open as well. And so you see the central lacteal coming in through there. It goes from there back to the bloodstream via the thoracic duct. So the thoracic duct carries a lymph back and that joins up with the vena cava before it gets back to the, here we see a lymph node right there. So this the lymphatic system is a way that fluid is returned to the bloodstream. Whenever you have edema, it's taken up by the lymphatic vessels and returned to the blood. Also, it transports hormones and antibodies and natural fats, so that you get those through the lymphatic system. And we see the thoracic duct here. It has some circular muscle, but mostly it's connective tissue. But you can see where the muscle is oblique and spirals around. You can see where the pink muscle, smooth muscle, is spiraling around. It too has endothelial cells lining the lumen. So this would be the media of it and the avid tissue. These white things out here are white fat cells. White fat cells look like chicken wire. Here's a spermatic cord showing you the vein with a valve in it, little artery, and then here is a lymphatic with a valve in it. And you can see the endothelial cell nuclei on through there. And so this is a lymph because, as again, these were not, fluid didn't come out whenever you perfused with the vasculature. Another one of the spermatic cord showing you the muscular artery in through there and vein with a valve and a host of different blood vessels. Here we have a couple lymphatics with a valve in it, a nerve right here, another couple more lymphatics. This is a vein and an artery in through there and lots of vessels. So in summary, multicellular animals need three mechanisms. One is to distribute oxygen nutrients, get rid of waste or collect waste, and to transport it to excretory organs where it can get rid of it. And so the pressure is produced by the contraction of the heart. And there you have cardiac muscle cells which are attached to one another by the intercalated disc. And then we have exchange of capillaries. And here we see that there are different types of capillaries in muscle. Here you have continuous capillaries. When fluid does leave the venule, which is the main source of edema, it then is returned back to the bloodstream. The fluid is returned via lymphatic vessels, which also collect hormones, antibodies, and fats. And then the blood vessels all along the way, including the heart, are modified in terms of what they have to adapt to mechanical stress, whether it's high pressure or whether it's a metabolic need that's there. So we have a couple questions. Which of the following structure functions about the cardiovascular system do not match? The heart produces pressure during diastole. No, it does it during systole. Okay, and then Elastic arteries conduct blood and maintain pressure. No, they maintain pressure during diastole, not systole. This is a contraction. They maintain it whenever the heart is not contracted. Muscular arteries are the source of the peripheral resistance. No, it's arterioles is the source. So the answer is E. None of these match. Okay, which type of the capillary location do not match? Continuous capillaries in muscle. Yes. You cannot have edema in muscle. Fenestrated capillaries in a glomerulus of a kidney. Yes. Continuous capillaries in bone marrow. No. You need sinusoidal capillaries in the bone marrow because you need to have cells to be able to migrate through. So the one that doesn't match is C.
So we want to thank the original sources of images, illustrations that will facilitate us to be able to learn more about the cardiovascular system in this presentation. So that's the end of the cardiovascular system about lymphatic vessels. Lymphatic vessels that drain the fluid, the lymph, from the tissue that seeped out in edema in various cases of the blood vessels and has to be returned back to the heart.